Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee to one Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back to Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Ready to do and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Thursday, February 10th. It's weird when I do it. Caleb's not here. He's at the beach. He is wearing a shirt. He did confirm. He's not going shirt on the beach. So there's your update on Caleb, I guess. Guys, we've won 6 straight SEC games.
We're looking good.
Man, we're pushing P.
We are. Pushing P. Rick Barnes got a new slogan.
It was so cringe, but I love it.
Yeah, literally like 3 Instagram videos in a row this morning.
Yeah.
All we're like, pushing P. I was like,
pushing P. We're going to talk about the game against Mississippi State and the win over the hump. And then we'll talk about Olivier. I guess that happened Monday when it was said that he'll require surgery. So we didn't get to talk about that on Sunday, but we will tonight. We'll discuss Vanderbilt coming to town. Hopefully that's 7 SEC wins in a row. And then Alvin Kamara. Guess we're discussing that.
Yeah.
That's a weird situation. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Then we got some segments, what's trending, and stupidity is an epidemic. I don't even know if I have a stupidity is an epidemic, but I can come up with one.
Endless.
But let's get into it. Good start. Made like the first 6 shots, I think, and then here comes Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State's a good basketball team. I really do. I think they got good bigs that I thought would give Tennessee problems. They had a pretty good night. I think Garrison Brooks was 6 of 9. DJ Jeffries was 6 of 9 from the field. Smith was 3 for 7. So they had a pretty good night. Garrison Brooks at 15. DJ Jeffries at 13. Isaiah Molinar is one of the best guards in the SEC. He had 16, but he had to earn those 16. He had 6 turnovers. That was mostly because of Zakai Ziegler and Kennedy Chandler picking his pocket just every other time he went up the court. It was nice. They had 5 steals apiece between the 2 of them. So, man, like you said, it was just fun. I had fun watching it. It got a little bit of nerve-wracking in there. Tennessee should have got a call right before halftime and didn't. So I was fully prepared for that to come back and bite us late in that game, but it didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously cautiously optimistic. Every time we take a big lead like that to open the game, I know it's at some point going to wither back, but we saw them start to gain momentum again towards the end of the first half. But we outplayed them. If you look at the stats, I mean, they shot technically better. They shot 50% from the field, 35% from 3. It wasn't really like a landslide in terms of statistics. We just outplayed them, and we were able to, shoot the ball better and make the better decisions.
Yeah. I think one reason why this team is so good right now is everybody else is making shots. It's not just Vescovi. It's not just Santi.
Yeah.
It's Josiah Jordan-James. It's finally clicking offensively for him. Kenny Chandler, it seems like he's getting better and better. Zakai Ziegler is getting better and better each game. And Vescovi, I feel like he's so consistent that defenses respect him. And so every time when he gets the ball, especially at that 3-point line, the whole defense has to pay attention. Like, oh, is he shooting? What's he doing? because the offense kind of runs through him a little bit. But with the defense doing that, kind of collapsing on him every now and then, maybe cheating over just a step, it opens up lanes with Josiah Jordan James, Kenny Chandler. You saw those two get to the basket. Josiah Jordan James more of a mid-range guy, but he's able to get into the lane where he's able to pull up. Kenny Chandler was able to get some easy layups. Zakai Ziegler got to the rim last night. So, yeah, I think a lot of that comes from Santi and defenses having to respect the three-point shot from him.
Yeah, for sure. I think we've said it all along that the biggest problem was not making their shots. It wasn't always a matter of not being able to find them or, getting swarmed and not be able to get out of them. It was just that we were in a slump and no one seemed to be able to make the shots. And now, there's a little bit more confidence in that mid-range jumper or being able to work into the paint a little bit more. And so as the season progresses, they're able to figure it out and seem to have more confidence in their shots, which just means we're going to have better shooting percentages, which better points. Our defense has always been there. So it seems that they're really putting the pieces together and figuring out the best way to maneuver.
Yeah, it's a good time to be playing your best basketball, and that seems to be what Tennessee's doing right now. Guys, if y'all got any questions, drop those in the chat, or if you got comments, want to make fun of us, that's fine too. Please drop those in or hit that like button on Twitter, hit those hearts. It makes us feel good, especially getting close to Valentine's Day. 4 true freshmen scored pretty early in the game. Yeah. I thought that was, Brandon Huntley-Hatfield had the first 4 points for Tennessee. Jonas Adu came in there early. Didn't play a ton. I think he played, 12 minutes. But he got in there early. He was kind of in foul trouble as well. Had 3 personal fouls. Had 4 rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds. So I thought he was pretty impressive. From what I saw, he didn't look just completely lost, like a guy that really hadn't played much throughout their course of the season. And then, of course, Kenny Chandler and Zakai Ziegler. I thought that was interesting. I don't know when's the last time Tennessee's had 4 true freshmen score in the first half of the first half.
Yeah, it's also a good spot to be in because obviously
depth like is Kentucky.
Huge. Yeah, depth is huge. We have to be able to, it's good that we're not having the problem of like all our seniors are the ones that are going to be out there and putting up points. It's good that we've been putting us in positions where we have to see those younger guys step up and be able to make some plays. And it's good to know that we have a little bit of a backbone there that when it's their time to come up and make sure that we're real well, that they're set for success.
Yeah. And I mentioned Tennessee's playing its best basketball right now. And I think that is because of its guard play. It seems like every guard is playing their best basketball right now. Santi only had 11 points, but 3 for 6 from 3, played 37 minutes, had 7 assists, 5 rebounds, a steal, and only 1 turnover. Kenny Chandler did have 4 turnovers, but he had 5 steals to make up for it, 3 assists, 5 rebounds. So it seems like our guards are just filling up the stat sheet. I think that's the reason why Tennessee isn't a bad rebounding team is because they're getting help from their guards, getting help from everybody. Zakai Ziegler, he had against Florida, he had just as many as the most on their team. So,
yeah,
getting help from everybody. And those guards, Josiah Jordan James, Chandler, Asante, Ziegler, I feel like this has been their best maybe stretch of games so far this season.
Oh, for sure. Not even close. But, yeah, after that Arizona win, obviously everyone was, feeling it and everything, and then started downhill from there. But we're definitely on that uptrend. You're right; it's in the perfect spot. We sit at 17-6. We're in a good spot in the SEC. We're getting into some last latter end of the season. March is coming up, quicker than we know it. So confidence keeps building in terms of getting towards the tournament in both SEC and NCAA.
Yeah, and right now Tennessee's set to get a first round bye in that SEC tournament, tied for 3rd with Arkansas. Tennessee plays them twice over the next, month. So we'll see where we'll end up. But there is a big gap between Auburn, Kentucky, or Arkansas, and Tennessee. Those are the 4 best teams in the conference. I don't think there's any doubt with that. You had Alabama, I thought would be up there. LSU, I thought would be up there, but they've kind of fallen off recently. I mean, LSU lost to Vanderbilt. Now I know we play Vanderbilt Saturday, but I like our chances at home
Yeah.
against the not great Vanderbilt team. I know it's not the same Vanderbilt team that we've seen as of recent, but or the last couple of years, but definitely a lot, definitely a team Tennessee should take care of. And one thing I don't like, and I'll be a negative all for a little bit, but dude, what is Barnes doing with this Urosh Fulkerson lineup? I mean, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely. I mean, Fulkerson tried a Euro step, and it was like if I went out there and tried to do a Euro step, it was horrible.
Yeah.
There was one point where we shot a three, and both of those guys were behind the 3-point line.
Yeah, I don't know if he's trying something new. Maybe he's been playing 2K lately, so he's trying to get some big men, some 3 points. But I don't know what's going on because I see that and I'm like, what? Where is that? Like, where has it worked before that makes you want to implement it? Like, I don't see the idea behind that. So it's certainly frustrating in that aspect. But
Yeah, unless there's just not, with Justin Powell and even Victor Bailey, I feel like you got some options at guard where you don't have to play the same 4 guards
right,
every time, but like just spacing and with these guys playing their best basketball right now and getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line, there's just no need in clogging the paint with 2 guys that don't give you a whole lot. I'm sorry, I hate to be like that, but that's the reality. They just don't give us a lot at all. Urosh had 4 points and 4 personal fouls. He did have 4 rebounds, but 18 minutes, guy 7 foot. You like to see more than that. I know he got his shirt released yesterday, but I mean, dude, if you want me to buy a shirt that says Urosh, I'm gonna need more than that.
yeah. Yeah, I'm in a weird spot with Justin Powell too, because I mean, honestly, we can all admit he's a bucket. Like he gets out there, and especially when he's getting hot in big games, that's someone you want to be behind the arc. And especially, last minute of the game, you're down 7 or something. When you need those shooters in there that can decrease the deficit. But I get a feeling when he's on the court and he's not shooting threes or not. I don't feel like there's much happening there. I feel like his spot, he's not. I don't want to say he's not contributing much, but I just feel like he's always just running around and like being in the scheme of things. It doesn't seem like he's setting himself apart.
Yeah, and so what I think separates him and Santi's constantly running around. I mean, they mentioned it last night. He runs like 4 or 5 miles each game because he's constantly running around trying to get open. I feel like Justin Powell doesn't do enough of that.
Yeah.
Like a Duncan Robinson or a Tyler Hero, they're constantly running around trying to get open, get around a screen, find some space. Whereas I feel like Justin Powell he resets when somebody drives to the lane, but he's not constantly running around looking to get open.
Yeah, it's a slight lack of aggressiveness, and maybe it's just the fact that it's tricky to fit into that spot when you have people like Santi and everyone moving around in that aspect. So I don't know, but it would be nice to see him be able to get a little bit more adjustment in terms of fitting into that scheme, especially as we come to some like more important games and we rely on him for minutes. He's gonna have to be able to do more than just stand in a spot and make a 3.
Yeah, but a really good game overall. I mean, just this game was not in Tennessee's favor. It was a late tip off, 9:00. It was the first game that you lose a starter in Olivier. It was on the road to a team that's only lost 1 road game so far, or 1 home game so far this season, and you went in and took care of business. Won by 9. I thought the officials were pretty sorry, in my opinion. Every time that there was a little bit of contact or even maybe a graze on a shot, they're calling a foul.
Yeah.
And then when Kenny Chandler got Garrison Brooks up in the air and there was no you got to call a foul. Whether you want to call it a shot or not, there's got to be a foul call. If there's contact like that, there's a foul called.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was ridiculous, and they called that 3 seconds on Brandon Hundley Hatfield when he wasn't even in the lane.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, what is I mean, I saw today where, what was the – hold on, I have the number from the SEC. Yeah, 77 or $777.8 million of total revenue divided among the SEC's 14 universities. Can we, maybe train some officials? Maybe get some more? I don't know. Maybe raise them give them a raise to do a better job. It's constantly just shit.
Yeah.
You make this much money, and that's the product that you put out there with, you want to call it just means more. Well, make it mean more.
Yeah. I 1,000% behind that. I mean, everyone knows that basketball and, college, NBA, whatever, has gotten soft in terms of regards of you can't go up for a layup or take up a shot anymore without any coverage on defense in terms of, unless it is 100% clean, just ball. It's frustrating. We've had problems with that forever where you really wish, you have to remember that it's a sport. You're supposed to be able to play defense and touch them. It's if his arm's getting pulled down or if he's smacking his arm out, that's one thing. But nowadays you go up with coverage that tight, you're basically expecting a foul. But if we're going to move to that and stick with it, you got to be consistent with it, and you can't have blatant no calls and then bad calls in the same moment. You got to stick with it.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee didn't. I don't know if this was just we were shooting so well that we only took open shots and they didn't. It was just our defense was just up in their grill. But we shot 9 free throws, and I think we shot 4 of them late in the game, they were just trying to get the ball back. I mean, we didn't get into the bonus until there was under a minute left in the second half.
Yeah,
they shot 23 free throws. I mean, there's just no way.
Yeah,
and if they made all their free throws, it would have been a tie game. They shot 60.9%. Nice. So yeah, just officiating is just crap, and I don't think it's going to get any better.
Give us robot reps.
Yeah. Push and P. 72-63, Tennessee wins it in Starkville. Again, I mentioned that was their first SEC loss at home. They had won every game. They were 12-1 on the season. Their only loss was, I think, a 4-point loss to Minnesota earlier in the year. I think back in December. So I think this is a really big win for Tennessee. And I think you separated yourself from that middle of the pack. I still think there's a gap with Auburn and Kentucky. I just think there is. I know Arkansas beat Auburn, but they beat them at home. On a neutral court, I think it's a totally different story.
Yeah.
But I think Tennessee's capable of, giving those teams a run. I just worry about teams with good post play. I worry about that.
Yeah.
I worried about it last night. It didn't seem, they had their post players had a pretty good night, but it didn't seem to really make an impact on Tennessee. It seemed like they were just fine shooting, and, you came out on top. But Walker Kessler, Jabari Smith, those are 2 totally different dudes than a Garrison Brooks.
Yeah, certainly. So it's gonna be interesting when we get to that. I'm really interested to see how we play against Kentucky when they get to Thompson, though.
The place is gonna be rocking.
It's gonna be yeah.
I wonder if Auburn will be back at number 1 by then.
That's what I was wondering, because I looked at it and I thought it's kind of good for us because I assume Auburn isn't gonna just slip up from that and have more close games and maybe lose another one to a not so good team.
They haven't been great since they got that number 1. I mean, they almost lost to Georgia and Missouri.
Yeah, but that's just where I think it benefits Tennessee, because then when you play teams like Arkansas, it's it's not just middle of the pack Arkansas. It's Arkansas that was still able to beat the number 1 team in the country. So I mean, it's beneficial in that regard. But Auburn, I would assume, would still hold. By the time we play them, they should probably be able to stick up there, still around number 1, if not top 3, obviously. So
yeah. Let me ask you this. Who do you think? I saw this on Twitter today. I actually thought about it last night, and then other people posted it. So I'll go ahead and ask you, who's Tennessee's best player right now? Who would you pick if you could pick out, like you were the team captain, who you picking first?
In what spread? Like past, like just overall, like on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. Like it's kind of, are we going from the entirety of the season? Well, let's just say right now, who's Tennessee's best basketball player?
In terms of if I'm captain, I need to pick a team. I think I'm going Josiah Jordan James.
Okay.
I just feel like in terms of like what we can do with him, feels like the best, especially as of late. He's been able to make more shots. He's feeling more confident from behind the three. He's not taking his dumb shots. He's able to get in the paint a little better. He's able to work on some mid range. I feel like in terms of versatility there, obviously it's hard not to say like Vescovi, who's going to be leading point scorer probably, or Kenny Chandler, who can float like a damn butterfly. But that's what I'm going with.
Okay. I think he's playing the best basketball of his career right now.
Correct. That's why it based off like right now. If we're talking like in regards to the whole season, no.
Yeah, and I think he scored 14 plus in the past 3 games. So definitely want to see that continue. I think Tennessee's best basketball player, and I don't think he's the most talented. I think Kenny Chandler's the most talented player on this team. But best basketball player, I think it's Santi. I mean, you've seen that consistency the whole year. I just think he brings so much. I mean, he only had 11 the other night, but he had 7 assists. I mean, he's just so smooth. He's not the quickest. He's not the strongest, but the guy's a bucket, and he always seems like he's in the right place. Yeah. Whether that's on defense, whether that's getting an assist. I mean, last night he was under the basket, and all he did was a little just flip back to Kenny Chandler wide open for a layup. Just plays like that just make him different in my eyes. So I'll go with him just because I think he brings more to it. I think Josiah Jordan James is playing, and it's no shot at him or Kenny Chandler, but I think he makes defenses respect him a lot, and it helps everybody else out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Who impressed you the most last night? Let's go besides Josiah Jordan James, because I feel like he's probably up there. Or maybe underrated. Impressed.
Kenny Chandler, which it sounds kind of basic, but I feel like he's had like a lack of attention at least. Like I feel like beginning of the season there was a lot of hype there, and then as he played through, it's been fairly average. Definitely been a key player, but I feel like last night, especially, he's getting more shots up just in general, and his percentages are going up. So I think that was the most important in terms of just his ability to move and find open shots and be able to make the shots that you were like, okay, that's a future NBA player like that. That's the smart decision. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I would probably go with Kenny Chandler as well. It just seems like he got to the basket with ease. It just seems like the game's slowing down for him a little bit. And, there is times where he does have the just sloppy turnovers. But like when he gets a full head of steam, he gets one step on a defender. He's to the rim. And I don't think he gives, he's so quick with it. It doesn't give the post player down there a lot of time to react to get over. So yeah, I was super impressed with him last night. I could do without the 4 turnovers. There's sometimes he just over dribbles, and I think Tennessee, that's the reason why I think they get in such slumps is they just over dribble. When they keep the ball hot, that's when it seems like they're at their best. So hopefully we see more of that and less just trying to over dribble. Just like Kenny Chandler does it a lot, where he brings it up the court, he sees an open lane, it closes, he dribbles back out, back into trouble. They try to double team him or something, and he just ends up turning it over. So I want to see less of that. But yeah, Kenny Chandler just looked good the other night, and only shot 3 threes. Yeah, made a long one, but I think his mid range game and then just getting to the rim is, man, it's impressive. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's nice to see him have multiple threats to be able to do that. He's not just stuck behind the three, but the fact that he's actually able to dominate in terms of, like you said, getting to the paint and making it look like no one was willing to play defense on him, like he called out ISO or something. I mean, it's impressive. Same with the mid range and being that's just the shots that help. When you get stuck and defenses can figure out, okay, well, if this guy gets to the, then cut that off. If this guy shoots three, okay, we'll cover him, double when we get to the ball. But the fact that he's been able to shift and basically figure out the way to do anything like that, it's very beneficial.
Yeah, and Uroš is the best sealer on this team. He just seems to always be in somebody's way where they're not able to get over, and Tennessee's able to get a layup out of it. I don't think that's an actual stat, but I would, if it is, I'd like to see how many seal off assists he has.
Yeah,
because it seems like he's got a couple a game, and I like to see that. I mean, he's just a all SEC teammate.
Oh, for sure.
Let's get into Olivier. I think that's a tough blow for Tennessee because I think much like Josiah Jordan-James, Kenny Chandler, Vescovy, Ziegler, he was playing his best basketball too. So it really sucks that you don't have a lot of depth at the post either, especially depth with some experience. But you have to replace him. You have to move on. And it seems like Tennessee didn't let it bother them last night, and it was good to see them in the locker room FaceTiming him. Rick Barnes told him to keep pushing P. But Brandon Huntley-Hatfield got the start. That was interesting to me just because he's played a little bit, it seems like, in most games, but hasn't really done anything, hasn't made the most of his opportunities. And then he doesn't really go back in after he comes out for that first time in the game.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting as well. But like we said, we have that depth that is huge. So, I mean, obviously you never expect something like this, but especially Conwell, I mean, that's a huge spot on a starting role. And the fact that they at least looked, I mean, only one game through, that they were able to take care of it and fill in the cracks. We'll see if that pertains going forward, but it seems like so far Rick has a good idea as to how they're going to be able to fill that in.
So who would be your replacement for Olivier? I mean, it seems like they're going to do it by committee or maybe play small ball, but like, who's the guy that gets the most run? Like where Olivier would probably be in the game, who takes that spot?
In terms of like, who would I want to start for him?
Yeah, or just play like the amount of minutes or the most amount of minutes out of probably those four guys that played last night.
God. I wish Fulkerson would get, I don't know, just because, I mean, obviously Fulkerson hasn't impressed to what we would expect, but I wish I would see him get the opportunities to be able to do what we saw him do a couple weeks ago, where when he clicks, and he finds confidence in those shots. So if it's in that aspect, that's someone that I would really want to be able to step forward and fill into that spot. But yeah, it worries me a little bit in terms of his lack of, I don't know, contribution in terms of points and percentage.
Yeah, I'm with you. If we're going to go small ball, I would like to have a bigger body in there. So I think, a dude's 6'11", I think he gives, I mean, he had 3 offensive rebounds the other night or last night in just 12 minutes. But Uroš, I think, he just gives you that post presence where, like, he just kind of clogs the lane. It's great on defense, I think, even though he's not a great rim protector.
Yeah.
But I think he, like, especially with Oscar Tshiebwe, he kind of made it difficult on him.
Yeah.
So, those bigger post players that Tennessee's going to see, I think it's beneficial to have Uroš in there. But I want to see more of Adu and Brandon Huntley-Hatfield. Adu just seems athletic. I don't want to say Kyle Alexander because first couple of years Kyle Alexander just, I think Barnes mentioned that he looked like a baby giraffe, and that's absolutely true. But I want to see more of this kid. Got sick, dealt with an injury. Finally made his way onto the court a little bit. So we'll see kind of where he is in his development, if he's able to get more run or, because of his, I don't want to say lack of production, but, didn't play great. It was 1 of 3 from the field and had 3 personal fouls, 2 points. But I want to see what he brings. I think, I don't know, him or Brandon Huntley Hatfield just need to take the next step, in my opinion.
Yeah.
One of them has.
I mean, we talked about wanting to see Huntley Hatfield get more minutes, but you're right in the aspect that the minutes that he has gotten, he hasn't necessarily impressed or given a reason to increase those minutes. So I think you're right. If he was able to figure that out, that would be huge.
Yeah. Man, I was like, imagine this team with a guy like Garrison Brooks who can shoot pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's not the prettiest shot, but like it just, he's so efficient and he, gobbles up rebounds. I just wish we could have landed somebody this offseason, whether it be the transfer or one of those top guys like Jabari Smith or Bankero, Caleb Houston. Some of those guys just weren't able to get them. And then Adu thought maybe he would be there, and then he dealt with an injury, got sick. So, hasn't had the season that maybe everybody expected from him. But, yeah, I still think that Tennessee's biggest regret is going to be not landing a post player in the transfer portal this past season.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that's going to need to be a big push going to next season as well. I don't think it's ever something you don't need necessarily, especially with the way this offense works and defense. So, yeah, I agree with that statement, especially when getting some games where that is evident that that's the role that we might need to be able to fill in.
Yeah. That's kind of all I got for that game. Do you have anything else you want to add to Mississippi State?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, they suck. Starkville's a terrible place. They call it the hump. Like, that's weird. Whatever. Vandy coming to town. Saturday will be at 6:00 tip-off. I mentioned earlier, I think Vanderbilt's a lot better than they have been in the past, but Tennessee should absolutely take care of business. I just don't see us losing to an in-state rival at home. I think if they were going to beat Tennessee, it would have been when it was a struggle the last time we played them in that stage or whatever that freaking arena is.
That joke about the high school.
Yeah. Yeah. But they've won 2 games in a row. They beat LSU, beat Missouri. They shot 35 free throws against Missouri. Scottie Pippen Jr. is a lot of that. I mean, like, shoot open shots. At least try to. If you're just going to go in there and try to get fouled every time, I mean, what a sorry basketball player. But they shot 23 against us the last time we faced them earlier in the season. So that's what they want to do. They want to get to the line, shoot free throws, get people in foul trouble, and that's how they try to squeak out wins because they're not that talented. So that's how they try to mask that. I think the way Tennessee's shooting, I just don't see them having a problem with Vanderbilt.
No, I agree with that. I think you got to be careful you don't fall into that trap that we get too many fouls because that will kill us. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think it might start off. I'd say we start off strong, good environment. We have a little bit of a struggle around first half, pretty much similar to last night. And then I feel pretty confident that second half we come out, maybe first couple minutes, not too sure, but we should run away with it after that. I feel like at least that's what I would get, but I don't know. It's never safe.
Yeah, I think if Tennessee gets this game up in the 70s, I think Tennessee wins this game pretty easily. Now, if it's in the 60s, Vanderbilt's getting to the free throw line, it could be interesting. But the way Tennessee's defense plays, I just think if Tennessee's able to hit 70, I like her chances.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think the spread's going to come out as?
Man, I say like 8.
Yeah,
8.5.
I was gonna say 9.5. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like that's probably the.
Yeah, maybe 9.5 because it is at home. Dude, it's hard to get people to cover on the road. I mean, it's tough. You just don't see a lot of it.
No.
More small ball. That's what I want. I think that's Tennessee's answer is small ball.
Yeah.
Use those guards. We're guard heavy anyway. Everybody knows it. You're not trying to hide it. Just play small.
I entirely agree with that.
Moving along. It might be a shorter show tonight. I don't really talk as much as Caleb, and that's not a shot at Caleb. He's really good at talking, holding conversations. I'm not. So we might get y'all out of here a little earlier tonight.
It's all right.
Alvin Kamara. Man, what the heck?
Yeah, it's gonna be. I guess it's just necessary of like when the video shows. It's a weird situation. I wasn't sure at first. I mean, I heard it and I was like, well, I'm sure something happened, some altercation, someone tried to come up and do something. But the more I read about it, the more it doesn't sound too provoked. It sounds more of like just a little bit of beef, and then him and his crew ran up on somebody. But that guy got. Whew. I'm assuming you saw the picture. That boy got.
Yeah, he looked rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the video, it just seems like the police department was like, yeah, that was a lie. Like everything Kamara said. And I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
And then the fact that they knew about it and let him play in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, and then I don't know the exact timeline of how that went down, but they were saying that, by the time that they, named him like a person of interest and needed to bring him in for questioning, he was already at the field or at the stadium ready to get going. So I guess they said that they had the police there waiting for him when he was done, and he finished the game. And it's like, all right.
Yeah, 18 minutes after it ended, he was arrested.
That's great.
Which is insane. So Alvin Kamara is never going to the Raiders. I think that's probably for sure.
Yeah.
Not a big Vegas guy probably after this. It's just weird because like you've never heard any issues out of him. So for this not to be provoked or anything like that, it doesn't seem. It's just a weird situation. It doesn't look great for him, but I mean, I don't think this is the end of his career or anything. Now, does Tennessee eventually take him off the Jumbotron? Maybe.
I didn't think about that.
But yeah, I'm interested to see what the video looks like because it does not look good for Alvin Kamara.
No.
I saw some today where they were talking about him being suspended for a year.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard ranges of all sorts of different allegations and possible charges being pressed and jail time. And
I mean, what sucks is like he put hands on he was hit somebody 8 times, and then they didn't do any hitting in the Pro Bowl.
I hate the Pro Bowl.
It's the worst thing in the world.
It's like watching them just like I don't know. I understand it. Like you don't want to get hurt.
Play 7-on-7.
Yeah, I understand. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to, but like, God, dude, it's not even entertaining to watch someone catch a ball and then play rough touch barely, and make it 20 yards and then blow the whistle and be like, okay, well that was it. Like, I want to see someone just absolutely get wrecked in the Pro Bowl. I mean, again, I don't want to see any injuries, but you don't want to see that in any aspect of the game. But
yeah, if injuries are going to happen, they're going to happen.
I feel like if they rewarded or incentivized the Pro Bowl a little better, you'd see a little bit more will to get out there and actually go play for. But I mean, I'm not sure how you do that. You'd have to restructure a lot of stuff, but it's just frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, the Pro Bowl is worse because it is so much contact. Whether like the NBA All-Star game, it's trash too, but
Yeah.
it's a little bit better because it's not just all contact all the time. Baseball is probably the best professional All-Star game.
Yeah. I agree with
I
that.
haven't seen NHL, so I can't speak on that. I don't know exactly what that's like. I gotta think it's probably the same as football,
It's
right?
about the same. It's a little bit more like, it's like the same way that you're not going to go and absolutely wreck somebody, but it's still at least there's a game going on there. There's competitiveness.
Yeah.
So
Are you a hockey fan?
not really.
Not really.
I mean, I follow the Flyers obviously a little bit, and used to love playing cello on the sticks, but
The Flyers lost me money last night, so
they
screw them.
suck. Did you bet? Wait, did they win?
No, they got to be like 6-2 or something like that.
Yeah. You put money on. Actually, I would feel bad, but the Flyers are that they won't. Did they win on like a 13-game losing streak? Unless they haven't won yet, and they're still on like 15 or 16.
No, they started winning after the. I read up on it, so it was like it wasn't just a random bet, but yeah, apparently they got a guy back, and they had won like 3 games with him back, and so yeah, it wasn't great. Let's see what that. It was 6-3 was the final. I should have just bet the over.
Yeah, I don't know. Hockey's not. I'm not huge into it.
So I had this question today, and it has nothing to do with sports or anything, but Fritos. What's your thoughts on regular Fritos? I asked you this because a girl was working from home on our team, and our boss was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she was like, "I'm eating regular Fritos."
Your salt intake is probably through the absolute roof. Like if you just eat a straight bag of Fritos, they're salty as shit. But
Yeah, and they're just not great.
they're fine, but I don't know that I could eat
Like they're like plain. Like that'd probably be the last chip. I'm like,
yeah.
let me go get a bag of Fritos.
Like Fritos scoops, if you're gonna dip it in something or anything like that, that's one thing. But dude, just straight, that's kind of criminal.
Also, I have this question: if chili wasn't a thing, would Fritos go out of business?
Yes, they wouldn't. They would never exist.
I thought the same thing.
It is 95% chili. Sound like that. I mean, I don't know enough people that willingly eat a bag of Fritos.
Yeah.
Other than being like a dip for a chip, yeah. I don't imagine they would be doing too hot.
For sure. Man, it's getting close to baseball season. You ready?
I'm getting excited. Get some tailgates going. Today was
what about is the Legends? Is that you? Are you part of the Legends? Are you going to be part of the Legends of Lindsey Nelson?
No. I mean, that's like based off something, isn't it?
So I thought it was a fraternity. I didn't know which one it was.
I thought it was, but I know it's. I mean, I know it's not ours. I wasn't.
It's not yours. Okay, that's what I was asking. I didn't know which one it was, but
I know if you know somebody. I mean, like I've known people that have like gotten into it just to like sit with them and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna be rowdy no matter what.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see the Legends there, just giving the opposing team crap. I'm not a big attention on myself, so I'm not huge into yelling and just ragging on people, but I think it's hilarious. I'll be the first one to laugh.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the opposite. I'll pull up Facebook, Instagram, find your mom, sister, dad, all your family. I'll pull up anything I can.
So we did have a question from Devin Arnold. Said, no old school laptop tonight.
No, we're on the upgraded 1080p 4K, and we got there's no black bars on the side. Awesome.
Like it. And he also asked, did y'all like how a dude played last night? I did. I thought he looked good. I mean, I think at this point he just needs to play more.
Yeah.
That's the only way he's probably going to get better is to get more reps, in-game reps. And but yeah, I thought he played well. 3 offensive rebounds, 2 points. He did have 3 fouls, but man, I was I was pretty impressed with the way he moved and everything. I thought he looked super athletic.
Yeah, that was the word I was going to use. Athletic. Looks like, that's going to be a key to have, and he's going to be able to adapt to the things that we might need him to fill in the spots for. So I'm excited to see how that progresses.
Yep. I think he's my – if you kept Fulkerson and Urosh playing the same amount of minutes that they were before Olivier went out, I think Adu should play more than Brendan Huntley-Hatfield.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Now, I think Brendan Huntley-Hatfield has the intangibles to probably be the best post player on this team. But I haven't seen enough of it paint-wise. I think he looks like he can shoot. He looks athletic. He's got good footwork, it seems like. But when it comes to, like, getting down there, rebounding, bodying up somebody, it just doesn't look like he's very interested in that.
Yeah.
So,
I agree with that.
All right. Well, what's trending?
Sure. What you got?
Big announcement tomorrow. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but big announcement. So stay tuned on more important issues on our Twitter. We'll have that released tomorrow. You baseball fans will definitely want to see that. I'll tell you after the show, Joe.
I was like, yeah, I got that, everybody. I'll be tuning in as well because I have no idea. So,
man, I'm going to go high school football.
Yeah.
Joe Osavet, former Jeremy Pruitt assistant, was on an off the field role. Then was your tight ends coach, and now he is has been named the head coach at Heritage High School in Blount County. I'm like, whoa, that's interesting. To kind of stay around here after you got fired.
Yeah.
But hey, I like it. There's somebody else. Oh, Rob Black retired. The Fulton High School coach retired. So I'm wondering who's going to get that job. There's a lot of good high school football coaches around this area. I feel like there was one more that I'm missing. They got hired. I can't remember. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think football around this area is only getting better.
Yeah.
So it's good to see them get, more quality coaches in here, like a Osvet who was great in the junior college ranks and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, I want to follow high school basketball or football, but I mean technically both, but specifically high school football. I want to get a little bit more in depth on that around, especially around here because you're right. There's a lot of talent. Where I come from, back towards Philadelphia, nah, there's nothing. But around here, it's kind of cool to see someone like, especially when you are going through the high school programs, and you're like, oh, half all these guys that are in college and pros, we're from around here, stuff like that. So,
yeah, like this past year, Southall, which is the team my dad coached and my little brother played for, or I played there too, but my little brother was a senior this year. And we went to Oak Ridge, and you saw T. Higgins on the Jumbotron. He did like a whole kind of entrance to the game thing. So it was really cool to see people kind of grow up in this area, and then now he's playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Big news in the NBA. Brooklyn Nets and 76ers trading. So James Harden is going to the 76ers for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, and some draft picks. So,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that I don't want to say that the Nets won because I'm kind of a Sixers fan. I mean, I definitely follow them. Ben Simmons is not fit for Philly. He sucks there. I mean, it's just not. It's just I'm interested to see if the Nets are able to do something different with him. I don't know if it's just been he's stuck in Philly and he just doesn't bond well with the team. I know him and Embiid have always kind of went neck to neck in terms of wanting to be the key role for the team, but I don't know. The Nets definitely walked away with what they get. They got a whole bunch. I mean, 2 first-round draft picks, right? And then
Seth Curry and Ben
Yeah,
Simmons.
Andre Drummond. Seth Curry lacking as of late, but that he was a good fit in Philly, and Andre Drummond's good for them too. So I mean, especially with those 2 first-round picks, I think that's definitely one. But I mean, Harden being on the Sixers is huge. Obviously, I mean him and Embiid. I'm very interested to see how that works out. That's probably going to be hopefully pretty electric.
Yeah, that's a heck of a lineup. Is Danny Green a starter for them too, and Tobias Harris?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Also, I'm not a bit like Ben Simmons was just like sitting out. I mean, him and Kyrie are just weird individuals. I mean, it's just babies.
Yeah. I mean, Kyrie's definitely a whole different level in terms of his flat earth shit and whatever. But yeah, I'm not a fan of I don't know, the whole way Ben's I get it. When you are where you're at, you have a right to what you want to do, and you have the right to disagree with the way things are going or stuff like that. But when you take it to a level of it just feels like petty, and you're gonna go start fights at practice, and you're gonna start chirping the coach and stuff, it's just grow up, dude. I know you want to play for the team you want to play for, and you want to do what you got to do, but
yeah, until you can consistently hit a 3-pointer, shut up.
Yeah. I mean, coming out of LSU, I mean, obviously that's huge, but I never got it either. I get in game pressure situations, I guess, but I mean, I see videos of him at practice draining 7, 8, 10 threes in a row, and it's why don't you do that? I know it's different in practice when it's uncontested and everything, but what? For him, I mean, how many threes did he have made? 2 or 3 in his career in Philly?
Wait, what? Say that again?
He only had 1, was it 2, maybe 2 threes ever in Philly, and I remember for the longest time he went without a 3, and there was there was an Instagram account I followed every day that goes by that Ben Simmons hasn't made a 3 and have 60,000 followers.
Yeah, how are you that athletic but can't shoot?
And that's what it's.
I get big guys, there's no reason for them to ever shoot, but for you to be a point guard or a point forward or whatever you're called now, yeah, pretty sad.
Yeah, I feel
that. Any more what's trending?
No, I was gonna do I was gonna talk a little bit long on the Harden trade, so that was gonna be what I was going with.
Gotcha. Let's go stupidity.
What you got?
I got this Boomer Kingsley, and it's an Alabama fan, and it was right after Pete Golding got a DUI. He said, "Not good that he got a DUI. However, I think it reflects positively on a coach. Never gives up or doubts himself under any circumstances, even when the odds look dim. Suspend him for the first half of the first week and fine him and make sure it doesn't happen again." I mean, turning a DUI into a positive is ballsy.
It's a major spin zone. Needs to get in the PR.
Yeah, that's great. We need more of those fans. We have some of those fans, guaranteed.
Oh, 1,000%.
I think they're all on Facebook.
Yeah. We need to find them, though. I want to find just the creative thing they can come up with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Do we have any more questions in the chat? I don't think I see all
of them. In the Twitter chat or on the one over here? Because the one on here is not any.
I'm on Twitter. I didn't see any.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if they came through earlier and we weren't on the actual feed, they're not going to show up. But
gotcha. Okay. Well, cool. I think that was the only stupidity I have, other than apparently there's some adults making Barstool High School Twitter accounts and talking trash about other kids from other schools. And if you're doing that, please stop. Please.
nothing's funnier, I find, than like full-grown adults like shit talking kids that are in middle school
Oh
and
my
high school.
God.
It's actually like I don't know if it's just that you're trying to live through your kid but dude, there's some people that go so far through it. I'm like, grow up.
Yeah. I mean,
It's embarrassing.
that should be jail time.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like that's worse than what Alvin Kamara did.
Yeah.
That's a hot take. I probably shouldn't say that, but that's the most cringe thing I've ever heard of.
I'm gonna save that clip for when like next week we see the video and it was just like a outright assault. Like there was no
Clip it.
nothing. Like you know.
Oh yeah. I mean, good lord. Like those people shouldn't be able to reproduce.
No. I'm big on I want to get some Chinese government rules in here and we start telling people how many kids they can have. And it's zero if you have like zero rights to have a kid. You're gonna be like that.
Yeah, that's a person who should have zero.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got. Do you got any stupidities?
Yeah, my stupidity was gonna be. Did you see the whole Olympics with the nuclear towers in the back? Okay. I was gonna pull up a picture. So where the Olympics are, like I guess we're used to I'm gonna pull this picture. Let's see. Oh, I can just do screen share. All right, there we go. Maybe. All right, I don't know if you can see that.
I can see that.
You can't?
No, I can't.
Oh wait, that's because I have to. There we go. Over here.
Oh, nice.
Got their big ski jump next to just nuclear towers, and they've got it, branded Beijing 2022. But it's like, I don't know why. Like, is there not a better place? Is it not like I miss the Olympics where it's like, oh, it's in even if it's in Sochi, Russia, it's like okay, well this is sick because we're on like a huge mountainside with something. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous that they would even consider.
Yeah, why would you even go there?
Yeah, that does not sound enjoyable at all. And then
I usually love the Olympics. I've yet to watch any so far this year.
I'm the same way. Curling, I get hyped for curling. I'll tell you that. I used to snowboard, so I love snowboarding. But curling, when Matt Hamilton's rolling that rock, dude, I'm an American.
Oh, yeah, that flow.
Yeah, and they're using fake snow too, so like that's why like a lot of players are talking about like
so we're basically an over
stuff. It's like, what are we doing? I know like we decided this like 10 years ago, but you guys couldn't get a better infrastructure going to like set up better.
Yeah, you had 10 years to set up.
I don't expect anything less from China.
I love it. All right, well, hey, we filled out like an hour. We killed it.
It's pretty good.
Guys, big announcement tomorrow. That's all we got. Thanks, Joe, for co-hosting with me.
Of course.
Hopefully Caleb, I don't know what Caleb is supposed to be back. He's at the beach right now. I think in Charleston, maybe. He's somewhere with his shirt off, I'm sure. I bet there's a White Claw in his hand. Yeah,
Certainly.
Y'all rag on Caleb for drinking White Claws. He sent me a Snapchat of it earlier, and I was like, busies or die. All right, guys, we appreciate y'all listening. We'll be back Sunday talking about a win over Vanderbilt. Got a huge announcement tomorrow. Be there, be square. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.